I want you to picture something with me. It's a normal night. Dinner's over. The kids are in the living room. You're putting away the dishes. And then you hear it. A loud crash, a scream, the kind of panic in someone's voice that you'll never forget. You run into the room and someone you love is bleeding. Bad. I'm not talking movie bleeding. I'm talking about real bleeding. The kind that doesn't slow down. The kind that makes your hand shake. And in that moment, nothing else that you own matters. Not your stocked pantry, not your ammo stash, your bug out bag, because in that moment, your world becomes one question. Can I save them right now? And here's a hard truth that most people don't want to face. Most families can't. Not because they don't love each other, not because they didn't try, but because they never prepared medically. Today we fix that. Today we talk about building a real medical kit for your home. Not a convenience kit, not a feel-good kit, a life-saving kit. I'm going to explain to you why this might be the most important prep you ever build.
Survival, emergency preparedness, everyday carry, SHTF, gear, Patriot Prepper.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Before we jump in, have you ever turned the radio down so you can see better when you're driving? Have you ever checked the door twice just to make sure it's locked and then check it again just to be sure? Or have you ever said, I'll remember where I put that, and then absolutely did not? If so, you're my kind of people. So do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, drop a comment below, and if you haven't already did so, please subscribe to the channel. Because the more people this reaches, the more families out there are ready for bad days. And that's kind of the whole mission around here. All right, so let's get to it. I want to be real for a second. When most people start prepping, they think food, water, guns, ammo, gear, bug out bags. And again, those do matter. But here's what nobody tells the new preppers. That medical is a prep that gets skipped until it's needed. And then when it's needed right now. Not Amazon Prime tomorrow, not the next paycheck, not I'll get around to it when I can. I'm talking about right now. I want to tell you a story. This isn't some movie scenario. This isn't the end of the world stuff. This is the kind of thing that happens in normal homes, on normal days to normal families, every single year. A dad home with his teenage son. They're out in the garage playing music, garage door open, sun's coming in, sawdust on the floor. They're talking about school, sports. They're talking about life, just being father and son. The son's helping cutting some wood with a power saw. He's done it before. He's comfortable. Plus, dad's right there. And then it happens. One slip, 1 second, one tiny moment where his attention shifts, and suddenly everything changes. The sound of the saw stops, and there's blood. Not just a little. Not something you can just wipe off with a rag. The kind of bleeding that doesn't look real at first because there's so much. The kind that the brain tries to reject because it's just too much. And at that moment, the dad does exactly what every parent would do. He panics for a half a second, and then his instinct kicks in. He grabs a towel, he starts applying pressure. He's yelling his son's name, telling him to stay with him. Tell him that he's going to be okay, even though he doesn't know if that's true. His hands are shaking, heart's racing. He's trying to remember anything he's ever heard about stopping the bleed. He calls 911. They tell him help's on the way. But here's the part that matters. He doesn't have a tourniquet. He doesn't have a trauma bandage. He doesn't have hemostatic gauze. And what's worse, he doesn't have the training. He don't know how tight to even put a tourniquet on or where to exactly place it. He doesn't know what exactly he could be doing besides applying pressure and praying. EMS, 11 minutes away, and every minute feels like a lifetime. At 6 minutes, his son goes quiet, too quiet. And that is a sound no parent should ever have to hear. Now imagine living with that memory. Not because you didn't try, not because you didn't love him enough, but because you didn't have the tools and you didn't have the knowledge. But here's the truth that most people never think about. Medical emergencies don't care if you're a prepper. They don't care if you're a good parent. They don't care if you meant to get around to it someday. They only care about one thing. Are you ready? Are you ready right now? This isn't rare. This isn't extreme. This happens in this country every single year. And most of those families never thought that they'd really need a trauma care kit, especially in their home. And that's why this matters. Not just the gear, the training, the confidence, the muscle memory to act instead of freezing. Because when it's someone you love, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your preparedness and training. And 6 minutes can decide the rest of your life. So let's step out of emotion and into reality. Because uncontrolled bleeding can kill within 3 to 5 minutes. The average emergency response times can be anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes, or even longer. And in disasters, all bets are off. And here's what most people don't realize. Most medical emergencies happen at home, in cars, at work, during normal life, not during collapse scenarios. See, medical preparedness isn't just prepper stuff. It is responsible family planning. See, because accidents don't ask for permission, right? Kids get hurt, adults get hurt, neighbors show up hurt. And when the system gets strained, you become the first line of medical response. If you can stop bleeding, protect airways, support breathing, prevent infections, and stabilize injuries, you massively increase survival odds. So if you believe in protecting your family, medical is part of that protection. I mean, yes, security protects you from threats, but medical protects you from reality. And reality hurts people every day. So let's talk about something just as important as gear, and that's training. CPR alone can double or even triple survival chances in cardiac arrest situations. Think about that. You could literally keep someone alive with just your hands and knowledge. CPR, AED usage, stop the bleed training, and just basic first aid. These are life-saving skills. And you could actually get this real training from American Red Cross, even local fire departments, community colleges, hospitals. They have stop the bleed programs and even EMS outreach programs. And many of these are low cost or free and only take a few hours. A few hours for knowledge that could save a life. That is one of the best trades you will ever make. So when I built my medical kit, I didn't build it for comfort. I built it for worst day planning, right? Family protection, real world injuries, and extended care scenarios. Pretty much every item has a purpose. because bleeding is fast, shock is fast. And if you can stop bleeding, you could buy life. If you can't, really nothing else matters, right? When we talk about long-term care, I mean, if the systems go down, infections become a killer. Small wounds become big problems. Basic wound care becomes a survival skill. So I need to say something. It's the hard truth. Hope is not a medical plan. Good intentions is not trauma care. Love alone cannot stop blood loss. Preparation can. Training can. Gear can. So if you're the protector of your family, medical is part of that job. Not because the world's ending, but because life is unpredictable. And the people that you love deserve you at your best on their worst days. So I pretty much said what I wanted to say during this video. And I wanted to show you what I have as far as medical kits, right? What's in them, why I have them, why it's important. But before we get into that, I want to explain something to you that you don't have to copy exactly what I have. Make your own. Build your own. But this will at least give you some ideas. So we've seen some of those first aid kits they sell at Walmart, Target, online, and although they're not the best, they could be a place to start, right? A lot of these are small, but they're affordable. These are going to basically get you boo-boo kits, pretty much Band-Aids, ibuprofen, tape, wound wrap, and really that's about it. But it's really not going to do much for bad bleeds. For that, we'll need trauma kits, full medical kits. Now, this is kind of where you're going to start spending the money, but if you do it the correct way and build it yourself, you could buy good quality gear and actually save money in the long run. So I want to show y'all. So this is a first aid kit, okay? You buy this online. This says first aid for car, kitchen, camping, travel, office, sports, and home. All right. You open this thing up. Right. And it looks pretty compartmentalized. But let's take a look at some of the stuff that's in here, right? So basic gauze, right? 2 rolls of gauze. Put like a pack of Q-tips, probably about 50 of them in here. Triangle bandage. Hand pressing flashlight. So this is going to be, all right, so this is one of those hand crank flashlights. You can see it don't really put out a whole lot. So I really don't see it. A multi-purpose tool pocket survival tool. Can opener, knife edge, screwdriver, ruler, cap opener, 4-position wrench, butterfly wrench, saw blade. I don't know why you would need this in a medical kit. You don't need that. A small pair of scissors. Man, this would look like something I would trim my nose hairs with. I don't know why this would be in a first aid kit. Clothespin, not clothespins, like diaper pins. I don't know why this would be in there. I plan on doing laundry or something. And a whistle. It really only works half the time, so I don't know why you'd have a whistle in there. A little roll of tape. I'm guessing this is some type of cloth, maybe washcloth, something like that. It's in Chinese. Emergency blanket. All right, so this is going to be your alcohol prep pads. Let's see. Insect relief. Antiseptic wipes. Alcohol pads. So they have some of those in there. Big set of tweezers and some bandages. All right. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of stuff that comes in these first aid kits that you don't need, right? That is junk pretty much, that is not going to work, right? Stuff in here that you don't need. Now there's a few items in here that you could possibly use. This I wouldn't even consider this a boo-boo kit. This is half a boo-boo kit. What's bad? So when I looked up the reviews on this, one person actually said that this was a great kit, and now that they have this, they feel more comfortable and confident at home. That's scary, because this don't have really nothing in here that you would need to save your life. This has stuff for bee stings, insect bites, some alcohol prep pads, some Q-tips to clean your ears, and that's pretty much it. All right. Next. So you found, I've had this for a long time. You can find these at Walmart. First aid kits, okay? This is going to have a lot of the same stuff this has, right? So you got bandages, cold pack, you have triangle bandage, antiseptic, some more sting relief. You have some rolled gauze in here, some more band-aids, a little iPad, some more tweezers, a little set of scissors, CPR face shield. That's something good. Sterile pad. But one of the best things in this is going to be this right here. CPR, AED, and basic first aid pocket reference guide. All right, this is going to tell you how to help somebody. All right, probably the best thing that's in here, right? Like I said, this is an older kit that I had just laying around. Deal with this. You need to get familiar with this soon, right? Whenever you buy it, read that first. Reading this and trying to figure out how to save someone is not going to work when someone's counting on you to save their life. So this right here is, there's a couple of them, right? This actually, my IFAC that's on my get home bag. This right here is another homemade IFAC I keep in my truck. This actually stays on the back side of the driver's seat, and it has like this, it's Velcroed on, and I have a carry handle to where if I need to help someone's been in a wreck, right, what have you, pull this off the back of my seat, and I can go help them. Got trauma shears, good set of trauma shears. Got the cutaway clothing, seat belt, and then it just folds open like this. Okay, now this is a homemade one. How you see right out the gate, so I have this little funky looking knife, right, with a lanyard on it. The reason I have this in there, this is not sharp on this side. This is to where if I need to be able to cut a seat belt, something like that, I can. If I need to cut clothing, this is not going to hurt the casualty, right, or the person I'm trying to help save, but this will cut clothing, seat belts, so on. So I have that in there. Next, tourniquet, cat tourniquet. I have many of these, right? I keep at least 2 of them in my truck. Next, CPR face shield. All right. Some people don't want to put their mouths on other people. I get that. So that's why I have this. Stop the bleeding. Right. So if somebody's bleeding, especially bleeding badly, that's one of the first things we need to do is stop the bleed, right? That's where this comes in. I got a hemostatic gauze in here, roll gauze, and we want to stop the bleed. Pour this stuff on there, and it starts stopping it. It clots it. Wrap it with compressed bandages. What else we have? Emergency blanket, a 2-pack of high-fin chest seals, emergency blanket, like I said, Q-tips, right? That's for like applying ointment if need be, right? Or you just need to clean your ears. More trauma bandage. All right, another bandage. This is the wound dressing. This does have like hemostatic, so it stops the bleeding. Triangle bandage, and then this little compartment, I have 4 pair of latex gloves, tape, and then all kinds of alcohol pads, bigger pads, bandages, burn care cream. So this medical kit I keep, like I said, on the back side of my driver's chair, where it's easy accessible. Pull it out and help whoever I need to help. All right. When you're designing your trauma kits, you definitely want to have tourniquets. Okay. Whether you're designing a trauma kit for your vehicle, for home, you need to have tourniquets and wound dressings. Okay. Very important. All right. So now I have this one also. It's almost similar size. I have it out of its pack. It has a bag kind of like this. I got this from Refuge Medical. It opens up same way, got a carry handle. This is going to have a lot of the same gear this one has. Of course, you see gloves, cat tourniquet, tape. I got a Sharpie, hemostatic wound dressing, some more. I said shears, chest seals, burn dressings. Has that nasal gel airway, this thing right here for breathing, all right? Because not breathing also kills you, right? So you want to be able to have an airway. That's where that goes in, right? Right the right side of the nose. Of course, quick clot, again, it's stop you from bleeding. And this has more of the CPR, face shield. This has gauze, triangle bandage. So this IFAK that I keep on my get home bag, okay? Refuge Medical. Now, so as you see, I have one for my get home bag, which stays with me. If I'm driving, it's in my truck, and then also have this also in my truck. Then we have this, okay? First aid kit. This was actually a tackle box. Went to Walmart many years ago. Found this. We put vinyl first aid sticker on here, and this became our first aid kit. So tackle boxes are really good for DIY first aid kit because, as you can see, when you open it up, you have different compartments, right? This is where you actually put your tackle, right? Your hooks, your bobbers, what have you. Well, now it has first aid equipment. Ibuprofen, Tylenol, bandages, alcohol pads, hand sanitizer, gloves, emergency blanket, super glue or liquid stitch, Q-tips. So this right here, probably again, one of the most important things in here. This has everything to treat somebody and first aid responses, right? Everything from eye injuries, burns, heat, cold exposure, broken and fractured bones, excessive bleeding, primary response, rescue hazards. This is good for someone if you don't have very much knowledge on first aid. This is something you'd read and this give you a little bit more knowledge. So people don't have a lot of knowledge on this, but in today's day and time, we have internet, YouTube videos, AI, so there's no reason to not know at least the basic first aid, right? I have gauze in here, triangle decompression gauze, more bandages, finger splints. So this is just our basic first aid for our family. And then we actually, so this is kind of like for the boo-boos, right? Well, what we actually did was went to Walmart and we found this. I don't know if y'all can see this. This is actually a hyper tough toolbox, right? And we converted this into our first aid, right? Our first aid / medical trauma kit. before I get to this, so another item that y'all would definitely want to have with you is wound closure device, right? So these are bandages, got little zip ties. So if you don't know how to suture someone, like stitch up, that's what this could be used for. You put it over the wound, and then you pull the little zip teeth, and it closes the wound, right? Also stopping the bleeding, right? And then you put a wound dressing over it, and you're good. This will buy you time until you get to the ER, emergency room, doctor or something. So I like these because these are removable, right? You stack them, they lock on, or you can just pull them off. And as you can see, moleskins, this got ibuprofen, Tylenol, Bactrim. This is, let's see, bandages. What is this? Liquid skin. So this is gonna be like your super glue, liquid stitch, bandages, gauze, bleed stop. And what's good about this, guys, is it's fully customizable. You make it how you want to make it. Next, you have drawers that come out. Q-tips with iodine. Q-tips with antiseptics. Heat pad. Alcohol wipes. This is charcoal and face body cleaning wipes. And then basically how I designed this, kind of the further down you go, the more trauma, I guess you could say. So tourniquets, always good to have tourniquets. Eye drops, antibiotic ointments. This is where you're getting into your gauze. Got tape, finger splints, wire splints, a bunch of tape, this type of tape. And like I said, so once you get through one, each one of them just come off, right? And then you pull the next one, and it comes off. This thing is on wheels. Let me go ahead and put this. Let me see. This one popped on there. Let me move this out the way so y'all can see. And then this one just opens up. Heat bands, antibacterial soap, stuff for urinary tract, urinary relief, instant cold, hot, gauzes, pads, antiseptic cleaning spray, and then the very bottom is Blizzard heating blanket. I have stuff for IVs, bunch of rolled gauze, syringe and needles, IV systems, IV solution, just, so pretty much how I have it is your top portion is pretty much your boo-boos. And then as you work down, pretty much the injury is worse, right? So but like I said, this is just ideas what y'all could use for a big trauma medical kit for your family. I say it don't have to be this big. I mean, this tackle box medical kit can work just fine. All right. This is something just to give you some ideas, right? You'll probably never regret building a medical kit, but you may regret not building one. And regret, that's something you have to live with. Preparedness is responsibility. Preparedness is love. Preparedness is action. Stay ready, stay trained, stay prepared. Patriot Prepper out.